Hello, New England, and welcome to this week's edition of the Financial Game Plan. I'm your host, Kristin Oakley, and joining me in the studio is Cody Rose Kelley. She is a financial professional at Terra Firma Financial, based right here in the New England area. Cody Rose, my friend, always a joy to see you. How are you?
So great to see you, Kristin. Hope we have a nice chat today.
I know, we are going to have a great show. I'm really excited for today's show because I know you've been really busy meeting with a lot of folks who have called into the show, come in to meet with you for the first time, receiving their complimentary written financial plans. But we realize that a lot of you might be newer to Cody Rose, to her father, 𝗬𝗏 Kelley, who actually founded Terra Firma Financial. So we wanted to take some time today and share a little bit more about their story, how this came to be, how they're serving the New England community, and what makes them so different within the financial services space. So I'm excited to have this conversation with you. It's going to be great.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Well, good. Well, I would love for you to share a little bit. Obviously, it's a father-daughter team, and then you have more team members as well. Share a little bit about how Terra Firma Financial came to be.
Well, my dad, 𝗧𝗏, traded futures for over a decade and was in the dealing with securities, and he saw how the market changed in 2007, 8, and 9, and how it absolutely destroyed portfolios with the pullback in the markets, and realized that most people have a grand majority of their wealth in the market. And if they're approaching retirement, that isn't a very good game plan.
Right.
So he decided that a good financial game plan, like our show, needed to have safe money and a risk evaluation done on each portfolio. So he got insurance licensed and learned a lot more about other instruments that could diversify a portfolio, especially with folks that are on the horizon to retirement. And that's where Terra Firma was born.
Right. And I love the name Terra Firma. Say what it, share what it stands for.
Firm earth, solid ground. So yeah, and that's exactly what we try to provide for our clients. It's all about peace of mind, especially in retirement.
Yes, for sure. I think what you're speaking to as well is that there's different phases of retirement, and a lot of folks are very familiar with the accumulation years, those years when you're working hard, you're putting that money away, you're letting it grow, when you have time on your side. But to your point, Cody Rose, and this is what your dad came to realize, when folks are approaching and nearing and entering retirement, some important shifts have to happen so that you don't lose all that money that you've worked your whole life to save to last you for the rest of your life.
That's right. Yeah, that risk ratio that we always talk about is so important. And the only way to get peace of mind is by having a proper ratio of your wealth in both safe money and risk money assets.
Right. Well, I want to also ask you about your story, because obviously your dad's been at this for a while. How did you get started in the business? How did you start, to work for Terra Firma Financial, and what is it like working with your dad?
Oh, well, my dad is really an amazing mentor. He's kind of a bear to work for, to be honest.
I'm sure.
Definitely doesn't take it easy on me, even though I'm his daughter. Expects a lot from me, but I try to rise to the occasion. I love working with my dad, truly. He's such a wealth of knowledge. I have a degree in business and journalism that I'm finally using, I guess, here today.
Yes. That's awesome.
But I love learning about the financial world. It's such a great industry to be in. There's always something new to learn. It's very exciting. And at the end of the day, we really help people, and that intrinsic reward that I get from helping our clients, we work with super nice people. I love it.
Well, and then how long have you been in business with your dad now?
So I moved back from California, back to New Hampshire, where I grew up. And I've been working with my dad since 2020.
Okay, wonderful. What a time to get back into the industry, so to speak, right?
For sure, yeah.
Seen a lot. Yeah. Well, let's share a little bit more about what makes Terra Firma Financial different. One of the things is that you all are independent. Talk about and explain why that's so different from the typical brokerage firms and some of the more corporate, big box firms, if you will, that exist out there.
Well, we really look at the holistic approach that's important for each family, that when they're planning for retirement or just accumulating their wealth, it's incredibly important. And a big big box firm is really just going to put your money in some mutual funds and move on with their day.
The set it, forget it approach, right?
The set it and forget it approach, yeah. Like, and you might even just be in a target fund with your company-sponsored plans. But when you work with someone like our firm, Terra Firma Financial Advisory, you're really going to get a holistic approach that looks at all of the, there's small details that are part of your big picture for the clients, and that's really important. We do income planning, we do retirement planning, we do tax planning, we do estate planning, we do Medicare and health planning. So we do all of these things under one roof that are really, they all connect to each other. They all are a big factor in putting together a proper portfolio and diversifying it. And you're not going to get that if you're just invested otherwise.
Right, because a lot of our industry and a lot of these bigger firms are just focused on the stock market. That's what their job is, to grow your money. And there's a place for that when you're in those accumulation years. But to your point, when you make that shift and transition to retirement, you can't afford to not look at all these things from a comprehensive, holistic point of view. And I love that you all are able to do that in-house versus outsourcing it somewhere else. You're able to sit down with someone and say, okay, well, how you make a decision in this area, maybe with Medicare, right? How is that going to impact your taxes? Okay, how can we create greater tax efficiency throughout your income plan? It's all connected.
Absolutely, it totally is connected. And one thing being overlooked can have massive repercussions on the overall portfolio.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I know that some folks watching out there, they might go, I've never thought of it that way. Or maybe you're approaching retirement, you're nearing retirement, and you are realizing the need to have a comprehensive, holistic plan. Cody, what would you say to someone who is going, yeah, I could really use a second set of eyes on my situation and looking at what I have going on and how I can make it even better?
I would say to them, contact us today. There's no reason not to. It's a great way to get a review on your portfolio and figure out the work you need to do.
Absolutely. Well, I'm excited to continue this conversation. I have a lot more questions for you, so we'll get to those when we come back. But this is a great opportunity for you to pick up the phone and call to claim your complimentary written financial plan. Now, this is for no cost, no charge, no obligation. It's simply an invitation to have a conversation to see how Cody Rose and Skip and the entire team of Terra Firma Financial can help and serve you. To claim yours, call that number you see on the bottom of your screen, 844-823-6398. Or if you have your smartphone handy and you'd rather not talk to someone right now, don't worry, we've got you covered. You can simply pull it out. If you open up that camera app, just point, click, and scan that QR code that you see there down in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. That will take you over to a landing page, ask you a few short, simple questions, and then a member of the team from Terra Firma Financial Advisory will reach out to connect with you to schedule your complimentary visit that way as well. We have a lot more to cover on today's episode of the Financial Game Plan. Stay with us.
I've been involved in finance and real estate my entire career since 1982. I was brought to my knees financially in 2007, 8, and 9 when the markets pulled back 56%. And I determined then and there that would never happen to me again. I started in different areas in the insurance industry, finding niches that worked better, became an income planner, got my securities license and things of that nature. So now we're a holistic financial advisor, and we're income planners. We help our clients figure out how they're going to get from where they were to where they need to be in order to retire with peace of mind. Probably more than 90% of people, this is their plan. They cross their fingers and hope. They do what they've been told to do all their life. Just keep shoveling monies into the market and you'll be great. They hope that everything will go well, that there won't be any major pullbacks and things of that nature. That's not a plan. We try to do every component that you need to have done in retirement preparation. We want to make sure that you've got your income plan, you've got your assets properly allocated, you've got a tax plan, long-term care and health planning, and then finally, the legacy planning. Our clients love us, we love them, we make a fabulous living, and we know that we put our clients into a better situation than they were when they met us.
Welcome back to the Financial Game Plan, where today we are discussing what makes the team of Terra Firma Financial different and why this impacts you. I'm your host, Kristin Oakley, and joining me is Cody Rose Kelley. She is a financial professional from Terra Firma Financial Advisory based right here in New England. And Cody, before the break, we were talking about the importance of being independent, and that's something that I think a lot of folks are starting to realize they need that independent advice when they are looking to successfully retire. Let's also talk about the fact that you all are fiduciaries. Why is that an important distinction in our industry today?
Well, Kristin, a fiduciary just simply means that we are legally obligated to act in the best interest of our clients. And you'd think that would be a no-brainer. It should be for every advisor, but it's not.
Well, they're not legally required, right? It's a licensing issue, and not everyone is held to that fiduciary standard.
Right. So when you're looking for an advisor, I think it's very important to make sure that they are fiduciaries. It would be a great question to ask, are you a fiduciary? At our firm, Terra Firma, we're duly licensed, so we work with the risk money and the safe money side of things, and that's also very important. If you're just working with a broker, he's gonna want all your money in the market. If you're just working with an insurance agent, they're going to want all your money in safe money instruments, and it's really important to have both.
Yes, and I think along with that, there can often be conflicts of interest when it comes to how an advisor is compensated. So let's talk about that a little bit, because I've heard that one of the objections is I've traveled the country and worked as a financial educator. A lot of folks think, oh, I'm just going to do it myself, right? Why should I pay someone else a fee? Or they're worried about, getting put into a product that's not in their best interest, because said advisor might earn a high commission on that. So talk about how you all are compensated and why that also makes a huge difference.
Well, first of all, when it comes to a product that you might be put in, like an insurance instrument, you're not the commission that an agent gets doesn't get pulled, with the ones that we use, they don't get pulled out of the portfolio of the client at all. So there's a commission on the side that gets paid directly by the insurance companies. So nothing comes out of that portfolio when you're doing something like a fixed index annuity.
And then also you're fee-based, right? So it's based on a percentage of how much money you're managing, which means that removes a conflict of interest. Talk about that.
For sure. So the fee-based side is the risk money side. So the monies that are in the market, that's what we get a percentage off of, and that's an annual percentage, and that comes out on a quarterly basis. And the other thing is that if you end up moving some of your monies out of risk into a safe money instrument, you're not paying that interest fee anymore. So you don't have any charges on a safe money instrument at all with the ones that we use. We get a commission directly from the insurance company, and now you've taken a big chunk out of what you normally pay a percentage on an annual basis.
Well, and what I love too is if the client's doing well and their money is growing, that means that your fee goes up because it's a percentage. If their accounts were to go down, your fee would also go down. So it just, it helps make sure that everyone's aligned, right?
We make money when you make money, right? So, and so a lot of people think, I can do it myself, but when we enhance your portfolio, you get an enhanced life. And when people what they don't realize is the amount that they're usually paying in percentage with everything at risk, when they actually move some of that to a safe money instrument and provide themselves with some peace of mind, they're actually paying less overall anyways, and they're getting all of our help.
Right. It's a huge, huge difference. So I always recommend too that whenever folks are considering working with a financial professional, it's asking the question, what is the total fee I will incur, or the total cost rather, I will incur from working with you? Because it's not just about an advisory fee, it's also about the costs of the investments that are being used.
Yeah, there are always, with mutual funds, there's other fees and expenses inside of them. We use a lot of ETFs when we're working with our monies in the market.
Those exchange traded funds, right?
Thank you, yes. And those have microscopic fees in them. So we're really making sure that we enhance the power of the portfolio that's in the market.
Right, and I know a lot of folks probably when they come in to meet with you for the first time and you're able to run something like a Morningstar report and look at everything that they have going on, a lot of folks aren't even aware of how much they're currently paying in fees. Do you find that often happens?
Absolutely. And when we start moving funds around, there's all sorts of disclosures that we actually know exactly how much you're paying with a different advisor or in your company sponsored plan. And to see how that transition is going to happen for people is pretty amazing to see. They end up getting a lot more work done from them, a total portfolio review, an income plan, a retirement plan, all the things, and they're actually spending a lot less overall usually.
Yeah. It's a huge value add for sure. Well, I know another subject that you're really passionate about and that Terra Firma really focuses on for their clients is engaging in strategic tax planning. Talk a little bit about what that is. And it's different from tax preparation, right? So let's explain what that is and then what you're able to do for your clients from a tax perspective.
So tax preparation is what you guys do every year when you're paying your taxes and sending your money to the IRS, and it's due in April. So, but tax preparing No,
It's okay, the P words, right? So we were talking about tax preparations, what we do every year, right? Let's talk about strategic tax planning.
Thank you. Strategic tax planning is the work that we do to enhance what our portfolio is being taxed on and look at that strategically year after year. So we look at things like, is Roth conversion right for you? And if so, how we can do that strategically year after year to maximize our portfolios and pay less taxes over time.
Yeah, because I think this is another distinction that really sets you all apart. A lot of the bigger corporate firms out there aren't talking with their clients about engaging in tax planning. I've often heard stories, and I know you have as well, of employees of those firms being told, don't engage in tax planning. One of the reasons is if you do what's in the interest of the best interest of the client, let's say you recommend something like Roth conversions, well, that means that you're taking the money out, you're paying the tax on it now, which means that the firm overall is going to have less money to manage. That's why they're dissuaded from having those kinds of conversations with their clients.
Yeah, and that's why it's nice to have that big birthday that we've talked about on the show before of 59.5. That's your money, all the money that you've put away in your retirement plans, you're able to move, even if you're still working at a company, at 59.5. And then you really have more control over your money and how it's allocated.
For sure. Yeah, and that's what it's all about, right? More having freedom of choice, more control over your hard-earned money. And I know that you love being able to do that. You love sitting down with folks and being able to present these plans. Does any recent stories come to mind of folks who've come in to take advantage of the complimentary written financial plan and what the benefit was for them?
Yeah, there's so many stories. Every client is a different win, I think, in our book. Recently, I had a client who was very emotional about her finances. If I had a word for it, I don't know if it's a term, but I think she had financial trauma. She had grown up with a very large lack of security when it came to finances her entire life. But this couple is doing great now. They have done all the right things. They have put into their company-sponsored plans. They have, done all the right things. So, and they're very stable now and looking at retirement. And when I put all of the numbers of the accounts into our software and showed them up on the big TV in our conference room, where they really stood financially, she had a really hard time agreeing with the numbers that she saw. And we got all of the information from the statements that she provided for us. So, but her being able to really see it in front of her and to take it in, she was very emotional. And emotional because she had never really had that security. Emotional because she could finally relax for the first time in her life, even though she'd been that way for probably a decade, but having it laid out for her. And she was just so thankful that they had done all the right things. They had lived within their means, and they had gotten a little bit of inheritance, and they didn't just blow it. So it was pretty amazing to see that, and she was thankful that she did the work with us to have that kind of relaxation in something that had always been a source of big stress for her.
I'm sure a lot of folks can relate to that story. It's a core belief, right? Whatever your beliefs were about money growing up, that can affect us throughout the rest of our lives. And so many folks are afraid of running out of money because they've never had that solid plan. They've never seen it written down to see, am I going to be okay? And then have the confidence to know that they're going to be okay. And what a beautiful gift you're able to give people.
Yeah, it was pretty great. I mean, we had the tissue box in the conference room, but I was sitting there saying, "You've done a great job. Like this is great work. You're a model to the rest of our clients." So that was really nice to be able to provide that information to that client.
For sure. Well, if someone else is watching and they can relate and they're going, you know what, I would really like the peace of mind that comes with having a written plan for my retirement, what would you say to them?
I would say, come on in. There's no reason not to. It is a complimentary review of your portfolio, and only good can come from that.
Wonderful. Cody Rose, thank you so much. To our viewers at home, if you would like the peace of mind that can come from having your own complimentary written financial plan, this is why we offer this to you. We encourage you to pick up the phone and call 844-823-6398 to schedule your time to come in and meet with the team of Terra Firma Financial Advisory to receive yours. Or again, you're also welcome to scan that QR code and that will get you connected as well. We'll be back right after this.
Are office is in Manchester. Beautiful, beautiful old Victorian. It's a historic building, 1905 it was built. We've got 5 people in our office working in there, and it's just a cozy, cozy environment. When people come in, we make it very enjoyable for them and stress-free. We've got the Paul Newman organic coffee with real cream. We've got 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗃 cookies right out of the oven. We've got my little 5-pound pooch that's a lap surfer. You don't look out, she'll be sitting on your lap. It's just a low-stress environment, and that's the way we want to keep it for our clients always. And everybody in there is just as sweet as pie. I mean, when I tell you that it's a nice environment for me to work in and live in, each and every day, I got my daughter there. I have, Lisa, who is our Director of Operations. She's an absolute sweet. She's the single best hand holder I've ever seen, and that's what she does. She does the applications, the money chasing. She's just an absolute doll, and all of our clients love her. We have Denise, who is our receptionist and does a tremendous amount of admin work and things of that nature. And then we have Peter, who is about as nice a man as you're ever going to want to meet, who does our clients' taxes and estate planning. So it's just a nice, warm, friendly environment. It's a nice place to hang out, not only for us as employees and employers, but for our clients. They all love coming to see us.
Well, welcome back to the Financial Game Plan. I'm Kristin Oakley here with Cody Rose Kelley from Terra Firma Financial Advisory, based right here in the New England area. And what a fabulous show we're having today, Cody Rose. I love that story that you shared of the clients that you recently met with, people who came in to meet with you for the first time. You were able to build that complimentary written financial plan. I know we were talking during the break, and I'd love for you to share some more of those details with our viewers.
Yeah, so basically I was talking about a client who came in and had never really been stable with her finances before in her life. They came in because they're on their horizon to retirement, and they were excited to put together a plan and figure out when they could possibly retire. Mm-hmm. They had been kind of white-knuckling their finances their entire life. They had a situation where they thought they were going to lose their home at one point. They had a hard time paying bills, and they had 3 kids, and they were just trying to get through life, paycheck to paycheck, and they didn't have that financial stability. Cut to many years later, 20 years later, where they've put away for their retirement, where they've lived within their means. They, were able to continue paying their mortgage and got, slowly dug themselves out of that hole.
Right.
To the point that they have over $500,000 in spendable assets, and they've also moved significant funds into safe money instruments that will be personal pensions when they do retire.
Which will meet their income need, right?
Which will meet their income needs when they stop working, and it adds to, in conjunction with their Social Security benefit and an actual pension that they have from working in the school district. And all these things combined make it so they're in an incredibly stable situation financially today. But there's never been a aha moment for these clients to really realize that they're not in this financial turmoil that they had been for decades of their lives, where they were always scared and always, trying to make sure they could pay the light bill. So to be able to show clearly to our clients in our financial software that they have done all the right things and they're in a really good spot was an amazing thing to witness.
For sure. So rewarding. Like you said, you have the tissue box handy, right? Because I think so many folks, when they try to do this on their own, or there's not a solid plan in place, some people get confused and think, oh, well, I have a bunch of accounts, I have a bunch of statements. They think that that's their plan, right? No, that's not the plan. Those are the assets. Those are the things, the fuel for the engine, if you will, but that's not the plan itself. So when you can put all those things together for someone and show them, you're going to be okay. Without that plan, I think folks either overspend typically, which then they run the risk of running out of money, or as probably these clients were doing, they're white knuckling, as you said. I love that imagery, and they're not spending at all because they're terrified they're going to run out of money. They
actually had a credit card balance that they were just paying the minimum on every month because that's what they've done their whole life, and they've had large credit card debt. And instead of just paying off these credit cards because they have the means to do so and not pay the higher expense, they were so used to the financial situation that they were in, where they had to make sure they had enough money to buy groceries instead of paying off the credit card. And that we looked at this and we're like, why do you have any credit card debt? Why aren't we just paying these off? And they felt like they needed our permission. Not that anyone needs our permission to do anything, but we gave them the peace of mind to know that like they absolutely could and should pay off those credit cards, not just the minimum, pay it all the way off, and next month when you get a balance, pay it all the way off again.
And not incur those high interest charges,
not have those high interest charges. Like they have all this money in the bank that's not working for them anyways, and that, pay off those credit cards. They also, had a situation where their furnace was going out and they were like, well, we're gonna have to spend a couple grand on a furnace. And we're like, buy it, spend it.
Have the means to do it.
She's been wanting to, make some updates in her kitchen for 20 years. It's time to do that. Let's do that before you retire while we still have some money coming in. You have the means to do it. And so, that was the white knuckling that was happening. And, even the idea of paying off their credit card on a monthly basis, even though they have all the funds to do it, was pretty revolutionary for them.
That's life-changing. Well, and it's also the guidance that you're able to provide to help them see which account should you take money from for the kitchen, for this, for that, right? For these different expenses. It's having that effective withdrawal strategy that you're then able to create for them.
That's correct, Kristin. And what we do, my dad always says, what we do here isn't rocket science, but it is, it's very calculated and it's a very thoughtful process where we're specifically moving funds from one account to another to enhance a portfolio.
I love that you are doing that. You're changing lives, and that's a beautiful thing.
Well, that's the thing. They were so thankful for us, and we're like, we told these clients, you're the ones who've done all the work to today to get where you are today. So we're just helping them see how well they've done.
Well, one thing I want to ask too is that I know that Terra Firma Financial Advisory, you all do a lot of live events in your area. So talk a little bit how our viewers can actually connect with you all in person.
So we do a bunch of educational workshops where we go to local colleges like SNHU or St. A's, and we have done a great job of educating the community. They can come out to one of our educational seminars, again, complimentary, and we talk about topics that are at hand. We talk about Social Security, we talk about tax optimization. So if you'd like to come to one of those, let us know.
Wonderful. Well, Cody Rose, thank you for being here as always, and thank you for sharing your wisdom, your knowledge, and your stories as well. We hope that you have found this to be helpful and educational. If anything resonated with you, if you're going, you know what, I could really use someone in my corner. I could really use the peace of mind that can come from having a solid written financial plan. Today is the day. Pick up the phone and call 844-823-6398. We love you, New England. We'll see you next time here on The Financial Game Plan.